Okay, so problem number 2, go ahead and make a quick sketch of this on your paper. Write the equation of the ellipse and find the coordinates. All right, not bad. So I look at my notes, and then first thing what I'm going to do is just find the center. So the center I know is 2, -4. And I can kind of use the formula, but I just always say, well, I know it's the x goes with the 2, so the x minus 2, and then this number is going to go with the y, so this is going to be y plus 4, opposite of what you think, equals 1. And it always equals 1. All the ellipse equations will always equal 1. Now I have to figure out this number. So I figure out this distance. So that distance is 6. Well, if this distance is 6, that's going to go under your x term, so that's going to go as 6 squared. Now, is that going to be your a, b, or c value? Because that's the bigger number, your a value is actually 6. Y value? Well, that distance is 3, so 3 squared is 9. All right, and do you guys remember the formula to find your foci? So I found the formula for the foci, c squared equals a squared minus b squared. Plugged in my values, so 36 minus 9, and you wouldn't really do this step. You already know that that's 36 and that's 9, but so 36 minus 9, clean it up, square root of 27. Well, square root of 27 simplifies into 3 square root of 3. You're not going to take the positive and negative of it because this is distance, and distance is always positive. So we're only going to take the positive answer. So 3 square root of 3. Well, what is 3 square root of 3 exactly? Don't really know. So use your calculator. So square root of 27 is about 5.1, 5.2, 3 square root of 3, the same thing. It's a little over 5. So how do you write that? Well, you know that your focus point is going to be, I don't know, a little bit past 5. So the coordinates are going to affect the 2 or the -4. Definitely going to affect the number in the x direction. So it's going to affect the 2. So your foci is going to be 2 plus 3 square root of 3. And still down at -4. And 2 minus 3 square root of 3, -4. This is the best way to leave your answer. If you actually converted this to a decimal, that's going to be fine. That would actually tell you what that point would be. But if you left it this way, that's fine. And again, you could have also written it as 2 plus or minus. Same thing. Okay. And that's it for this problem. And here is the last problem that kind of has everything together. So we're going to graph this and find all these pieces. Now you can obviously see that that is an ellipse, but does not look like this. So this is called standard form. That is general form. So to convert from general form to standard form, you're going to have to complete the square. So we're going to get all our x's together, all our y's together, move the number to the other side. All right, so go back and change this. That is supposed to be positive. If it's a negative, it's actually a different type of equation. So make that a positive. Get your x's together. So I got the 4x squared, 40x. Got my y's together, 9y squared, 36y. Move the 100 to the other side, so it's -100. Now I'm going to factor out a 4. You cannot complete the square if this is not a 1 coefficient. So in order to complete the square, you're going to make that a 1 coefficient. So factor out a 4, and then you're going to factor out a 9. So 4. Leave the space here because we're going to complete the square. Factor out a, what goes into both of those? Oh, and there is a y right there. Factor out a 9. All right, so now we're going to complete the square. So you're looking for, ignoring this, To complete the square, it is half your middle term squared. We're going to do that here, and we're going to do that here. So to complete the square, it is half your middle term squared, or b divided by 2 squared. Half of negative 10 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. This part's new. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. You are not going to add 25 here. You're going to add 100. Where did I get the 100 from? Right, because you factored out a 4, this is really 4x squared minus 40x and positive 4 times 25, which is 100. Okay, we did it for the x's. Now we have to do it for the y's. Half your middle term squared. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So what do we add to this side? It's not 4. It is 36. Again, because this was really 9y squared, 36y, and this was really a positive 36. So then we're going to clean it up. This turns into 4. Writing this as a perfect square, it is x minus 5 squared plus 9y plus 2 squared. Clean this up. And again, if you don't remember how to go from here to here, this is always going to be half of your middle term. So half of negative 10 is negative 5. Half of positive 4 is positive 2. Or you can say to yourself, two numbers that multiply to get 25 and add to get negative 10. Two numbers that multiply to get 4 and add to get 4. You should go from this step to here. All right, looks good. There's only one problem. So when we're doing this, standard form says this has to equal 1. So how do I make this equal a 1? Yep, divide everything through by 36. And this will always work out. Okay, so we're going to divide by 36 and divide. So 4 goes into 36 9 times, so x minus 5 squared over 9. 9 goes into 36 4 times, so y plus 2 squared over 4. 36 divided by 36 is 1. I'm happy because it's in standard form. Now I'm going to go back and answer all these questions. So my center is going to be opposite of negative 5, positive 5, negative 2. Graphing it, positive 5, negative 2. The number underneath the x tells you how much you move horizontally from your center. So square root of 9 is 3 units. So 3 units left and right. The number under your y will tell you how much you move vertically. So square root of 4 is 2, so 2 units. I'm going to draw my ellipse. So I went ahead and recorded the vertices. Vertices are going to be along your major axes. So 7, negative 2, and 2, negative 2. Co-vertices are going to be along your minor axis. So at 5, 0, and at 5, negative 4. So now I have to just go back and find the coordinates for the focus points. I'm going to go back, look for the formula, set it up. So I found the formula for the foci, and again, it's the same formula. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. Your A value is going to be the number under the major axis, so that's going to be your 3. So your A value is 3, and your B value is going to be 2. So plug it into your formula. And that's going to be, you could do 3 squared, but you should really go straight to just 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. Square root of 5 is just square root of 5. So where does that point lie you? Well, that point is going to be square root of 5 is a little bit like 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 distance from your center, and again, it's going to shift you in the x direction. So the coordinates for your foci is going to be 5 plus square root of 5, 5 minus square root of 5, negative 2. So we can see that our C value is square root of 5, so 5 plus or minus square root of 5. So if you add it and then if you subtract it, you can write it this way or you can break it apart. All right, and that's it for today's lesson. Try your homework.